Welcome to the Psychology of Influence at Work, 25 things you need to know. At Threshold, we train business leaders in the art of influence. And here we answer some of the standout questions raised by participants in our sessions based on the hard evidence. Research shows that line managers who listen have more engaged teams. But here's the problem. Most leaders are poor listeners. It all comes down to a concept called intellectual humility. And it appears that as we get more senior, we have less of it. It seems that it relates to another cognitive bias. It's my theory, so it must be right. In other words, I believe I am smart, I also believe X, therefore X must be true. Now, people who score highly for intellectual self-confidence are significantly less likely to be curious about other people's points of view. However, people who score highly for intellectual humility are more likely to be interested in the views of others. Tinel Porter and Karina Schumann from the University of Pittsburgh created a scale to measure intellectual humility. This included questions such as, I'm willing to admit if I don't know something, and I actively seek feedback on my ideas, even if it's critical. They also asked some questions to gauge the opposite of intellectual humility, such as, if someone doesn't understand my idea, it's probably because they aren't smart enough. The 200 participants in the study then imagined encounters in which they disagreed with someone over contentious issues such as gun control or same-sex marriage. Those who score more highly for intellectual humility tended to view those who disagree with them in much more constructive ways. For example, they were more likely to attribute the other person's point of view to their own unique experiences or perspectives rather than any lack of intelligence. The researchers then tested this against what people do in the real world. 200 new participants took part in online surveys about contentious topics. They were given links to articles, some of which endorsed their point of view and some of which argued the opposite. People with low intellectual humility did click on articles that opposed their point of view, in fact, about as many as those with high intellectual humility. But the people with low intellectual humility spent significantly less time actually looking at those articles with opposing views. Having high levels of intellectual confidence means that we risk giving too little time to other points of view. It reduces our curiosity about opposing viewpoints. We brand people as talent. We praise them and promote them based on how smart they are or appear to be. All the time we're doing this, we're in danger of creating intellectually overconfident leaders who are poor listeners. We need to praise leaders who are happy to admit that they've changed their minds on an important issue based on new evidence. When was the last time that you changed your mind about something important based on the evidence or on listening to a different argument? If you're struggling to think of one, it might be a good time to work on that intellectual humility. It'll make you a better listener, better able to engage those around you, and it could, well, open new doors. To find out more about Threshold and how we can help people in your organization to get the best out of human beings, go to threshold.co.uk.